Alright everyone, it's time for a Merry Christmas Eve special here. Could make it an exclusive, but never mind. I've got so many videos lined up, including a backlog of Amazon stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next few days. I'll probably have to make extra videos. I hope people are okay with that. Some of you would say no. And I know you're not going to get notified for half of them, but bear with me. I figured I would make a video on the topic of why, as a non-Christian, I don't worship Jesus, I don't go to church or anything. I typically will say Merry Christmas anyway, and would probably do so like regardless. Like here in Vermont, it's relatively irreligious. It's the most irreligious state, although it still leans towards Christendom. If I was in like Amsterdam, it's more irreligious, like I think primarily an irreligious culture, especially within an urban setting. Most of the people you see on the streets will be either, if they're marginally Christian at all, they don't even go to church. Like it never seems there are church services anywhere in the Netherlands. Even in the small town area, like there's no religious activity. The church is locked up and looks like it's never actually used for any real purpose. Like once a year, people probably go for like Christmas services once a year, and that's probably the only time they're open. I'll say Merry Christmas anyway. And I've noticed actually, it's interesting, like here in Rutland, if you go to one of the bigger box stores, like if you go shopping at Walmart, you'll typically get Happy Holidays when you're checking out. If you go to any of the smaller stores, you'll get a Merry Christmas. There's definitely a cultural difference there. There's probably a legal difference because big box stores don't want someone recording the person saying Merry Christmas and then flipping out, putting it online where it goes viral in the far leftdom of Twitter, and then they get rambled at for being like non-inclusive. But here's the thing, I'm not inclusive. I don't give a fuck about what holiday people are actually celebrating. I celebrate the marginally civic Christmas of the United States, which is clearly a U.S. invention. The way Christmas is actually practiced by most people in Christmas is not a religious holiday at all. Now, if it were, I would default to talking about Yule or Saturnalia or any of these other wonderful pagan celebrations that were basically adapted by the Latter-day Christians to form their more religious, the symbolic and religious, the occult, arguably, side of their service. But that's not the average Christmas. The average Christmas is just Santa Claus brings gifts and ho 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 and watch Rudolph and shit. It's not a religious holiday. There are some quasi-religious aspects, but the civic aspect, really, it comes from the same period of time in which De Beers and some of these companies are popularizing buying chunks of carbon in order to express your undying love for your would-be spouse. Oh, buy her this car, this $3,000 lump of rock, otherwise she'll never love you. It's like, it's ridiculous. It's the same with Christmas. It's an adaptation of what was once more religious, more cultural and folkish. Basically, the community would get together, they'd have like a feast, go to services and stuff and sing some songs. They turned that into, well, buy a gift, buy the teddy bear, buy the car. Santa Claus was a Coca-Cola icon in the American sense, which is extremely fitting given the obesity epidemic caused by companies like Coca-Cola in part. So it's a strictly civic holiday. And it's what most of us practice. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian, a lot of Jewish people practice it too. It's not religious anyway, so it doesn't clash. Like you could be an Islamist and still say Merry Christmas. If you're just talking about Santa Claus, ho ho ho, and Frosty the Snowman, it's not exactly going to run afoul of any reasonable blasphemy laws that might exist in other countries. And if you're more like me, I'm technically a pagan. And delve into the occult, but I'm technically irreligious as well. I don't go to a congregation and sacrifice the fatted calf or anything like that. Merry Christmas is fine, and I don't understand how anyone can actually look askance to it and have a problem with the term itself. Like sometimes, you get this pink-haired, trans, crippled person wheeling down there, they've got to buy their butt plug or whatever, and you say Merry Christmas and they flip out and they fall to the ground spasming as though they were possessed. It's just a way to get attention. It should be ignored. See, if culture were to just start ignoring these people, they would stop doing these things. It's because people whip out their smartphones and then slap it online and it goes viral that it actually promotes the behavior. That within criminology, like copycat murders, we talk about this all the time. Has nobody thought that this is exactly what's happening when you whip out your phone and say World Star every time somebody with pink hair goes crazy in a store and starts throwing their own shit around because somebody suggested Merry Christmas instead of Happy Inclusive Day or Happy Chris Mahana Kwanzaa or wished them a Merry Festivus? I think so. Festivus, by the way, increasingly popular. I've noticed that the references to it are so much more than even a few years ago. Technically, it's like a mid-90s advent. It's from the Seinfeld show. It's sort of a funny, sort of a fake holiday. It's an irreverent 90s sitcom sort of a meme in the early wave sense. More people do that. Rand Paul, I think, unironically celebrates it and does his airing of the grievances on Twitter, among other things. It'd be funny. You can celebrate more than one, but the more holidays you celebrate, the more gifts and good food you probably get. Yeah, I'll tell people I still believe in Santa Claus. I'll debate you on the topic just so that people will give me gifts and say that they were from Santa. Absolutely, you know, give me if Santa brought me MREs or something. Excellent. You know, I believe in old Saint Nick. You know, I don't know how he fits his fat ass down the chimney. I guess he must use a lot of KY jelly or something. But yeah, I say Merry Christmas. I'm going to say Merry Christmas tomorrow to all of you because, you know, some people... maybe you're alone on Christmas, and you know, might be in the military or whatever. Yeah, we can do like a little mini Christmas special. I don't know if I'll do a live stream or anything. I've still got so many things to fucking figure out here. Like I had to drag myself kicking and streaming into the 2010s to make way for the 2020s because I was still using a webcam from 2009, like the original standalone Logitech software and stuff. So I got to get used to all this fucking shit all over again. It's a lot better, but you know. By the way, the audio will definitely be far better, and also the video quality when I get to Amsterdam. I am not going to record 1080 videos at 60 FPS on this connection, because I'm not going to sit here until 5 o'clock at night uploading things I made at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's just not going to happen, so I down the quality a little. I don't have the external mic hooked up right now, the AT2020. I can't find it. I don't know. I don't fucking know where I put it before going to Amsterdam. Once I get back there, of course, the Black Yeti is better considerably, and probably will do better with the Brio anyway than with the older software that I was using. Like this probably syncs with it much more easily. I've noticed one thing, even though everything is becoming proprietary, and I don't really like that app-based proprietary sort of big corporate angle, it does allow things to synchronize with each other much more easily, which is kind of that's the facade that's getting people to accept all of the app and proprietary stuff. Everything syncs to your cloud, everything syncs to your other computer. Send it to your printer. Your microwave needs to know what you're writing right now in order to prepare your toast accordingly. If it senses that you're angry, it'll burn your toast just to drive you over the edge so that Microsoft can come and repo your computer. That's sort of the way that things are going. But there are a few advantages. You know, all these dystopian slave devices, they have their good points too. It's not all universally bad. At least it allows me to make sardonic videos about those dystopian slave devices. So yeah, Merry Christmas Eve. I will say that. I'm not going to sit there for 20 minutes reading off all the holidays you could be celebrating. And for those of you that are more authentically pagan, of course, Happy Yule. You know, that would be the only sort of aside because I'm a marginal pagan. No, that doesn't mean that I want to come to your bonfire, even though bonfires are cool. Like, I too like to wander around in a loincloth and antlers, but it's kind of cold at the moment. And I already travel enough. To be honest, I don't like moving around. I just want to sit there on a tree stump, you know, whittling wood. Sometimes I really just want to sit there and twiddle my thumbs for a couple of hours. As I get older, I'm more appreciative of those quiet moments, I guess. I don't know, is that maturity? I hope not. That's about all. Peace out.